Alright, hey guys, Paxer, welcome back to another weekly meta report. This is the first weekly meta report for the month of July, more specifically the first meta report for the EV growth meta. If you guys are new to my channel, consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss out on Pokemon Pocket content. It really does help me out, especially as a small-time content creator. And yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. So if this is your first meta report, this article from Pokemon Zone lists several top performing decks from tournaments this week. I'm just gonna give my take on the decks, and then at the end of the video, I'm gonna be using one of these decks in rank to see how it performs. And yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. As always, the link to the article will be down in the description if you guys want to read it, because I'm just gonna be pretty much just paraphrasing. I'm not gonna read it word for word, just looking at the decks. So the first tournament we're gonna be going over is Frog EX Weekly Cup number 25. This is the pie chart right here showing which deck is prominent. Buzzwole EX. Yes. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was kind of glitched for a second. I was like, what the heck? It's Sylveon, the new Buzzwole, but no. Buzzwole is still pretty dominant in tournaments. That's pretty cool. Pretty nice. Of course, Incineroar has seen an influx given that How does support Incineroar. Pretty cool. Alcremie? Nice. I love Alcremie. Definitely. I remember when they first announced Alcremie, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a very, very fun deck. And people are going to hate it. People are going to love it. So it's pretty cool that it ranks third in terms of popularity. Rampardos, Solgaleo, Sylveon. A lot of others though. I feel like compared to previous tournaments, others usually is like around like 25, like 20%. This is 39.5%. That is pretty huge. And then looking at top 174, yeah, still other dominating. Buzzwole showing a bit more prominence. Alcremie, ooh, yeah, Alcremie going a little bit lower. Buzzwole, of course, yeah, this like pretty rough. I like how Magnezone's also hanging in there. This Magnezone is pretty cool. And this is top 8, Rampardos, Buzzwole, damn, no Alcremie. Pretty unfortunate, but nevertheless, still a very fun deck. I feel like you're going to have a lot of fun using it. I do have a deck showcase if you want to check it out. But yeah, Rampardos is always going to be meta. Unless they add something that's like actually like meta changing or replaces Rampardos, then yeah, I mean, you could see Sylveon as somewhat of a replacement, but not really. I mean, for one thing, sorry, not Sylveon, Flareon. Flareon does what Rampardos does, but potentially better. Same damage, but does require more energy. You're really not going to have a problem building this guy up, in my opinion. He's pretty easy to build up, but yeah, same HP too. But yeah, given that this guy's fire, this guy is fighting, and has better synergy with Silvally overall. So yeah, I feel like this guy will be not as meta when power creep hits. Like if they add a very, very broken card, but like, how can they do that? Like this guy's already pretty broken. So we shall see. That's gonna... Yeah, for the foreseeable future, I can very much see Rampardos still being very prominent. Buzzwole EX, only one. Decidueye, yeah. Gengar EX, amazing. Yeah, this guy's ability just to like, he's kind of shuts down Silvally, so that's pretty huge. Let me see. Silvally is not, damn. Silvally's not even here. Maybe in some of the Rampardos decks, I guess, but that's pretty rough. Silvally is slowly getting phased out. Speaking of Silvally, yeah, actually, yeah, one of the Rampardos decks was... Because it does get kind of confusing with this, because sometimes they characterize some decks Silvally and the other ones Rampardos. Like in some previous tournaments, you would see like Rampardos here and also Silvally, and I'm like, it's kind of confusing, but nevertheless, it does seem like Silvally is still hanging on by a thread. Rampardos, Type Null, Silvally, Gyarados. Pretty straightforward. I mean, you've seen this deck in previous tournaments. Yeah, if you guys don't know, ideally you do want to have Silvally in your front. Guaranteed Type Null, because Type Null is only basic. And you just lead with Silvally and towards the end game, sub in Rampardos, and hopefully you can just sweep. Because yeah, doing 130 is pretty huge. Ideally, you do want to have him late game, because if you have him like early to mid game, knocked out early on, given that he does take 50 damage recall if he knocks an opponent out. But yeah, not really going to talk much about this deck, but very fun. Still very fun if you want to invest. This guy's time in the meta might be limited. I don't want to jinx it, or like, I don't know, maybe you're watching this like in the future and he's still pretty good. We don't really know, but when it comes to Dina, they can very much add another card that replaces this guy. Because keep in mind, before this guy was out, we had Lycanroc. Yeah, this guy. Very similar, same energy requirement, can do 100 damage, much like Silvally. And keep in mind, this guy came out in Celestial Guardians. So a pack later, Silvally comes out and does this guy's job a lot better. And not to mention, 10 more HP, so that could save you too. This is the requirements right here. Yep, pretty straightforward. If you guys want to pause, you very much can. Next deck we have is the Espeon / Sylveon deck right here. I ran a very similar deck to this, but without this non-EX Sylveon. You want to play the Sylveon towards the end game, because yeah, if you look right here, this attack does 30 more damage for each evolution Pokemon on your bench. So you can do a maximum of 160 damage. Pretty good. very nice, but does require a lot of buildup and a bit of RNG, because again, you want to get, depending on your RNG, you might not be able to get all your evolutions out, so you might just be doing like what? There's probably going to be a lot of cases where you only get like 70 damage, 100 damage, which might be a lot, but depending on the stage of the game, it could very much hinder you. And keep in mind, if your opponent plays Solgaleo, you're pretty much screwed. Like, this is why Giant Cape's here, because Sylveon with type disadvantage gets one shot. Yeah, this Sylveon as well, Espeon. Everybody here gets one-shotted if you don't Giant Cape. Solgaleo, yeah, still pretty prominent. Like, yeah, if not in this tournament, definitely in rank. I've seen a lot of Solgaleos in rank recently, but yeah, Sylveon's pretty good though. If you guys don't know, Sylveon basically acts like a Professor's Research. So in a turn, you can use Sylveon's ability and then pair that with Professor's Research, drawing 5 cards in one turn. So very nice. Espeon right here has a lot of potential to be viable towards early game and even in late game. Energy Crush. This attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So towards the end game, let's say your opponent has like what, 8 energy attached to all of his Pokemon. You're doing 160 damage, which is pretty huge, but it really depends on what your opponent's playing. Because if your opponent's playing a low energy deck, like let's say like Serena, at least for this card, ideally you only need 2 energy, one for your active and one for your bench card. And given that, Espeon's only doing 40 damage against Serena. And keep in mind, Serena has Mellow, essentially healing Serena back to full health. But yeah, ultimately up to RNG. And yeah, pretty fun deck. It really depends on your RNG. Overall, if you get bad RNG, if you can't draw, if you can get your whole backline evolved, then you're not doing optimal damage. And yeah, it can very much hinder you. I guess to counter that and kind of stall, this deck also runs Red Card as well as Mars. So you can very much mess up your opponent to give you more time. So that's pretty cool. And this is the requirements right here. A lot less packs, pretty forgiving. Next deck is Incineroar EX. Ooh, yes, this deck. Incineroar is finally back. Really like this. Last meta, we saw a lot of prominence with Charizard EX. And granted, he's still somewhat prominent, but I'm glad we're seeing more Incineroar. And yeah, this guy got supported. How? During this turn, attacks used by Decidueye EX, Incineroar EX, or Primarine EX do plus 30 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Essentially a better Giovanni. Because unlike Red, you can use this on any Pokemon, a non-EX, like anything. So this is pretty good pairing with either, yeah, Incineroar has 2 attacks. So you can pair it with both. For his attack Fire Fang, if you pair How with it, you are doing 80 damage. And then for Scar Charge Smash, you are doing 100 base damage. And if this Pokemon is damaged, you are doing 170, 190 if you have type advantage. So yeah, this guy can one-shot a lot of Pokemon. Like, yeah, also keep in mind, he is fire. So that's a hard counter to Buzzwold EX. Yeah, Buzzwold is, with the popularity of fire being a thing, like Buzzwold really can't stand a chance. Because even without How, if you use Scar Charge Smash, you're already doing 160 damage, which is, yeah, that guy's already on his deathbed at that point. This deck also runs Heatmore, primarily just to deal with Oricorio. Does Combustion, only requires 1 energy, so that's pretty good. But despite that, Incineroar EX can still somewhat deal with Oricorio. It really depends on if they're using a stall deck, like if they have a lot of like healing supports, because Incineroar does burn damage, which does also affect Oricorio. Speaking of healing, this deck also runs Lily just to heal your Incineroar. Penny, a bit of RNG, this could help you out, but at the same time, it could very much do nothing. If you guys don't know, this is Penny right here. Look at a random supporter card that's not Penny from your opponent's deck and shuffle it back into their deck. Use the effect of that card as the effect of this card. In my opinion, they could have made this a lot better. Like, if instead of like putting it back into a deck, imagine it just discards it. Like, once you look at it, it discards, like you discard that card. Like, that will be pretty huge against your opponent. Because imagine early game, you Penny and you get a Cyrus. What are you gonna do? It's like turn 1, nobody's like low, you can't use Cyrus. And then that Cyrus goes back to the hand, but instead of the hand, imagine it goes to like the graveyard. That's pretty huge, because that Cyrus could be a win condition towards the end of the game. Also number 69, nice. But yeah, this is the requirements right here. Also, on top of booster pack requirements, there's also rarity requirements, which is pretty huge. Again, thank you Pokemon Zone for making this. Like, it really does help us out a lot, because since these are 2 diamond rarity cards, keep in mind, these are all free to trade. Like, you don't really have to spend any trade tokens to get them. If anything, the only thing you need to spend trade tokens for is Incineroar EX. So if you have a friend that has all of these, then you can just ask them and be like, hey, can I get some copies? And if that guy's a good guy, then yeah, there you go. All right, next tournament is Ursaday's Pocket Weekly number 32. And this is the spread right here. Sylveon. Yep, Sylveon, of course. That's my Sylveon right there. And that's my Darkrai. That's my Solgaleo. Yes. All right, there we go. Ooh, Buzzwold, yeah. Taking third, Sylveon, Solgaleo. Again, Solgaleo counters Sylveon EX. So that's pretty huge. Still pretty meta. I really do like that. That's still pretty viable. Guzzlord EX, very scary to go up against. Rampardos being less... Okay. The freaking Pokemon Zone jump scare. Freaking Pokemon Pocket jump scare. I swear, I don't know if it's just me, but the notification for Pokemon Pocket is just so loud. Like compared to all my other notifications, Pokemon Pocket just like jump scares me. I could be just driving and then next thing you know, I just hear that like, and then like almost have a heart attack. Like that's yeah, that's my life. But yeah, this is looking over here, let's just look back shortly. Yeah, Rampardos was a lot more prominent in this tournament, and compared to this, yeah, just like yeah, barely 5%, only 5%. But looking at top 90, 192, not much change, still 4.7%. Sylveon dominating, Darkrai, Solgaleo dropping a little bit, very interesting. Buzzwold, yeah, Darkrai again, still very meta. Like he's been out for so long and he's still very top tier, so that's pretty cool. I really do like that in this game, because if you're a free-to-play player and you do summon for Darkrai or like get the promo card, then like you're getting your money's worth because he's still pretty meta relevant. That's pretty nice. Top 8, a lot less decks. Interesting. So a lot of Sylveons, Buzzwolds, Flareons. Ooh, okay, yeah, this is very interesting. Usually we have a lot when it comes to top 8, like just yeah, because towards like high rank, like it really is up to RNG. Like you could be using the best deck in this game and just get the worst RNG. Like that's me with Solgaleo EX in a nutshell. But yeah, given that, yeah, interesting. A lot of Sylveons. That's pretty cool. You know, Sylveon, this is the first deck we're going to be going over. The Greninja Giratina Sylveon EX deck. This deck's a dual type energy, and this is pretty good because Greninja, since it's dual type, you're using water and psychic. Greninja can attack, doing 80 damage paired with Water Shuriken in a turn. So yeah, he's not a joke, especially paired with Rare Candy. And on top of that, Giratina, since we're running Psychic, this guy usually, like, there's a lot of decks where like he's very like passive. You build him up very passively. However, since we're running Psychic, this guy can get out fairly fast. So theoretically, this guy can get out your third turn if you go first, or even if you go second. So that's pretty huge. And on top of that, Sylveon EX, 70 damage. But this card's main draw is like, yeah, draw is Happy Ribbon, drawing cards. And that's pretty good because you do want to get as much cards as possible. Really does help if you're missing like a rare candy or like Cyrus that you need. I feel like with the prominence of Sylveon EX, red cards and Mars will be used a lot more. Because yeah, if your opponent draws like 5 cards in a turn, like you kind of won a red card. Or Mars, like if it's like towards the end game, yeah, Mars, that completely shuts him down. So yeah, with that being said, I can very much see red cards as being very prominent, a lot more than it is, because I feel like a lot of decks, like in ranked at least, I don't really see it as much. Like I see it like several, like every other game, but like nothing too crazy. But yeah, this deck has a potential to do a lot of damage, just like with Giratina and Greninja. Again, I say this in the past, but Greninja and Giratina, if you pair them together, they're doing 150 damage. That's pretty huge. And yeah, granted, Giratina does take some recall damage, but to counteract that, we do have Giant Cape, as well as to help Sylveon against Solgaleo, which is pretty cool. But yeah, and we also have Cyrus just in case your opponent tries to retreat. Yeah, that's a deck. This is the booster pack requirements right here. Rarity requirements. Yeah, looks like you can trade most of these for free, a majority at least. And then of course these 3. But yeah, next deck right here, we have Flareon EX. Now, I made a deck showcase of this several days ago. I highly do suggest checking it out on my channel, but this deck is a lot of fun. The one I ran did run the non-EX version, but you can very much run this combo right here. But it can get kind of awkward because ideally you do want to have Turtonator out in the front early game and then have Flareon out towards the mid to late game. But the scary part is that Turtonator, like, yeah, there's a chance that he's just going to be a tank. He's going to be a wall. You're not going to be attacking with him because he is dependent with Kiawe. So if you go turn 1, you get Turtonator in your active, you need Kiawe. And if you don't have Kiawe, then depending on your RNG, like he's just going to be a wall pretty much. And with that being said, Rock Helmet, good pairing. And regardless if this guy does get built up, you can get Flareon out relatively fast. So this is pretty cool pairing. If you guys didn't know, Flareon EX, his ability right here, Combust. Once during your turn, you may attach a fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. If you do 20 damage to this Pokemon. So yeah, this is perfect pair with Turtonator because Turtonator's ability right here, his attack, after attacking, discard a fire energy from this Pokemon. And yeah, given that Flareon needs to have discarded energy, yeah, this is pretty good pairing in my opinion. Flareon does take recoil damage, keep that in mind if he does use his ability. So yeah, you can use his ability in the bench and you will take some recoil, making it kind of a liability because your opponent can very much just Cyrus and then just kill this Flareon potentially. However, to counteract that, we do have and red as well to do a little bit more damage, as well as EV Bag, because EV Bag paired with red, if you maximize the damage, you can do 170. Like 170 without type advantage, with type advantage 190, which is pretty huge. Yeah, Flareon is very fun. The only scary part is, of course, the recoil damage, but yeah, PC Lady here to help, as well as Eevee Bag. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this healing 20, pretty good. Yeah, this deck is overall a lot of fun. I highly do suggest investing in this because, yeah, Tyranitar, very fun. And I can very much see this guy being run in a lot of other fire decks. Because there's like, in the previous meta, like a lot of people paired him with Silvally, Blaze Fallon as well. Has pretty good synergy with the Tyranitar in my opinion. So yeah, a lot of potential. This is the requirements right here. A lot of packs, rarity requirements. And yeah, those are all the decks that we're going to be going over. Yeah, a lot of the meta is still kind of shifting, I feel like. We're still transitioning from the previous meta to the new one, especially with the prominence with Buzzwole EX. Like, yeah, I feel like Buzzwole EX will still be somewhat prominent in this meta, but not as much with the influx of Incineroars, because yeah, Incineroar is completely dominates. If you're using a Buzzwole deck and you're going against Incineroar, the chances of you winning are very slim. Like, yeah, you can't out heal any damage he does. Keep in mind, paired with how Incineroar can one-shot Pheromosa, Kartana with Fire Fang. So you're already getting huge value with that. And yeah, to end the video off, I'm going to be using this deck right here in ranked to see how it performs. Greninja, Giratina, Sylveon. And yeah, let's get right into ranked. All right, here we are in ranked. Ooh, okay. This hand could be a little bit better. Going against fighting. Is this a Silvally? Gibble, okay. Wow, okay, he beat me to it. Okay, he red carded me. Nice. I was about to red card him. Okay. Okay, hand might debatably is better now. This is pretty good. Oh yeah, okay, so this is pretty good. Hopefully I can get a rare candy. No rare candies, but looking at our RNG, our energy RNG, it's not looking that good. Alright, we might as well just chill like this for now. Feeding this Giratina, ending our turn, and hopefully this will be pretty huge, but it's very unlikely that we can get a rare candy. I feel like that's pretty good nevertheless, but okay. Evolving manually, that's pretty good. At least he won't be able to get his Incineroar out that fast. Oh, yes, okay, so we didn't get it yet, but we did get Sylveon. Yep, Professor's Research plus Sylveon, drawing 5 cards, including the card I drew during the start of the turn. So this is pretty good. Your candy, yes! Okay, this is good. This is amazing. So this guy isn't dying. Screw you, back off. This guy is mine. Perfect. This is good. So now we can just do, or now might as well do damage onto Gabite because he's probably going to evolve next turn. And feed Giratina. Do it again. And this is perfect because next turn I can just feed Greninja to retreat. Giratina is out and should be able to deal with Garchomp. Damn, he's really targeting this Giratina. Ooh boy. We can very much still win, but this will be very interesting. Alright, check this combo out. So I'm just going to do this. Greninja, retreat into Giratina. Giratina's probably gonna die next turn. Just looking at this, even if I Giant Cave, which is pretty rough. Water Shuriken, I have 18 seconds, fuck. Okay, Water Shuriken, do that. Cyrus, easy point. Easy 2 points right there. And then now I just have to stall for a couple of turns and I can kill that Skull Fossil. Alright, this is looking pretty grim, but there is still a chance. Okay, might as well, there's a, I think 50% chance I can get Greninja from this. Please give me Greninja. Perfect. Okay, so I'm doing 40 damage. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's actually a chance. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. This is ultimate cheese right here. Water Shuriken. I'm going to be targeting this Gibble. I need one more. Only 1 point. Only 1 point. And if he doesn't evolve into Gabite, I pretty much won. Like, there's really nothing he could do. If one of his last 2 cards is a Cyrus, he can very much just like Cyrus or Sabrina. But for now, end my turn. If he doesn't pull either one of those 3 cards, then I pretty much won. Oh, Professor's Research. Oh gosh. Nice, I won. GG. Yeah, I might do one more battle. Screw it. This might be a fairly long video, but I might just do one more, but look at that. The potential for Greninja is huge. Because doing that chip damage is pretty good. Like towards the end game, especially with Sylveon being somewhat of a liability, not being as tanky, and yeah, again, like looking at this battle, Giratina is able to one-shot pairs with Cyrus and Greninja. So a very fun combo altogether. Alright, next battle, Froakie. Perfect. Okay, this is nice. If you can get a water energy our second turn. But yeah, rare candy. Hey, okay, this is a good one. This is a golden combo right here. But we shall see. Can I... Damn, I don't really need 2 Greninjas. So if anything, can you please give me a... I would very much like an Eevee. I said Eevee, and not... Okay, fuck. Okay, perfect. This is not bad, I guess. If anything, please don't red card me. Because if he doesn't, then I can get Greninja out next turn. Yeah, this is, you gotta love red cards. You really gotta love red cards. Perfect. Basically my hand minus the rare candy. Pretty cool. On the bright side, I can get a... Sure, yeah, I can get Eevee next turn. I'll take it, I guess. This, you're gonna run into hands like this. Perfect. I guess we got Giratina, so we can play off of him. So for now, we're just gonna do this. Sylveon just chilling, dude. This being absolutely useless. This is pretty unfortunate. But for now, we might as well play it like this. So just in case, yeah, Fetus Froakie right here. Giratina's passive. This might be a 1-1-2 strat right here, where like both Froakies die and then Giratina sweeps. But I'm giving him a lot of time. Like, look at his hand. It's pretty huge. This is the main downside for this deck, is that, again, I mean, it's most decks. If you get pretty bad RNG, there's really nothing you could do. That's why red cards are very annoying. Like, yeah, but at the same time, there are a lot of moments where like red card does help me out a lot. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, this is pretty dry. But on the bright side, this should be, yeah, guaranteed EV finally. That took a long time, but we finally got EV out. Thank fuck. Okay, so all we could really do is this. Building up for next turn, and then Giratina can attack. Huge craziness. Yeah, this is not looking good. He needs one more point. Gosh. So after this, we might as well start building the Sylveon. But this is not good, because look at his hand. Let's just look here. So he has 9 cards, I have 10. Okay, but he has a lot more cards in his hand. And this is pretty bad, because at this point, we can't use Greninja. Like, yeah, this Greninja is useless, so if I pull another one, perfect. Oh, look at that. This is perfect. Like, okay. On the bright side, we are one-shotting this Sylveon, so we can still win, but this is going to be a very depressing win if we win. Like, it's just going to be primarily on Giratina, and if he's going to die, I guess Sylveon, but yeah, he's already a liability, even if I try to retreat because of Cyrus. Actually, I think I won. Like, there's actually nothing you can do. Okay. That was... Wow. Okay, I was complaining a lot about my RNG, but his was a lot worse. Actually, it might have just been his deck, but yeah, that's a weekly meta report. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more. I'm very excited to see how this meta shifts, especially into more EVs. And again, Alcremery, people are sleeping on that card. And in my opinion, one of the most fun decks in the meta so far. But yeah, that's the video, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Peace.